Hello, everybody, and welcome to EduMatch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am so excited because today I get to talk to Fernando Chavez. Welcome, Fernando.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you for having me.
Oh,
Dr.
thanks.
Thomas, or should I say,
Oh,
congratulations.
thank
It's the
you.
first time I get to congratulate you.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thanks so much for being here. Super excited to have you on. Got to meet you about maybe 3 weeks ago at our Voices Academy. And it was just so awesome to meet you and to connect with you and to hear all of the great things that you're doing.
Right on.
Was super excited to have you on here. Yeah. So if you could tell us a little bit about your background and who or what inspired you to go into education.
Well, I mean, we don't have that much time on the show, but I'll try to give you the condensed version. My name is Fernando Chavez. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, a child of immigrants. My dad is a musician. My mother owned a restaurant and she was a cook. So I had music and food be a big part of my life. So I was always learning. And my dad would always teach me about music, and my mom would always teach me about cooking. And now my wife just broke something. Sorry. So anyway, so learning was always a big thing of me, and I was always doing well at school, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it wasn't until I graduated from UCLA that I went into the Kane Era Center. Now, for those unfamiliar, it's a non-public school for students with diverse needs or special education needs, more colloquially termed. And I just got the bug. I mean, my first case, I was a one-on-one assistant to this girl, and she was nonverbal. She had autism, and it was teacher. And going from thinking you know about education to trying to teach somebody that you feel like on the surface can't learn anything, and then having results come out of that, I just kind of got the bug, and I decided to get my credential and kind of be a teacher, an educator, and a motivator.
That is super cool. Super cool. So you've been connecting with educators at Our Voices Academy and in other ways as well. So tell us about your own journey in connecting with other educators and things that you may have learned along the way.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my buddy, my brother, Kenneth Shelton, who is kind of a big deal in the ed tech world. And he's been kind of the guy that has been motivating me to get more involved on the national level. I worked with Ken probably 5, 6 years ago at a middle school where I was a special ed teacher, and he was one of the tech teachers there. And yeah, and then from there, Ken and I, every time he's working on a keynote or has a question or wants to shoot off some ideas, Ken and I just always go back and forth, and I've always had that kind of intellectual friendship. And so through Ken, I was able to kind of get involved with the OVA Academy. I've always been avid in my local level. I always, want to help out in terms of, local conferences. I did computer using educators. I also do it on the school level, on a district level, things of that nature. But really, I'm kind of new to the game, so I'm actually very fortunate and appreciative that you would have me on your show to really get my name out there.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely mine. Like when I met you, that I was just like, oh yeah, you were just a real deal, and it is definitely an honor and a privilege to be chatting with you tonight. So, very happy that you're here. So, what's fueled your passion for teaching?
Um, Initially, it was get motivating, inspiring, getting kids to learn. Lately, it's about equity and access, and basically having, regardless of what your background is, what resources you have access to or don't have access to, you are entitled to a world-class education that should be provided to you. Free and appropriate is what we use in the special education world. So really, that is making sure that all of my students and students across the nation are ensured a free and appropriate education equitably and have access to that regardless. So, because I feel like one of our great strengths in our country is diversity. And as a country, we also have to capitalize on the intellect we have in this country. Now, what do I mean by capitalize on the intellect we have in this country? I want it to be as close to a meritocracy as possible. If there's a kid from the inner city living in the projects that has the capability of curing cancer, I want him to have every avenue and opportunity, and set up a system where that child has every avenue and opportunity to attain that goal or to benefit society as such. So in a way, that's kind of where my work is right now. And the first step is awareness. people need to realize that where equity and access is occurring and where it's not occurring and where we're lacking. And once we, kind of see where the crux of the issue, we can rectify it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That is gold right there that you just shared with us. So, absolutely. So, you work with other educators and help to support them as well and to empower them. So, what has been your work surrounding National Board Certified Teachers?
Well, I got my national board certification in 2014. And one of the ways that, because I've worked with the students, but in a way, I wanted to also empower educators. What I love about the nationally board certified process is it really makes you reflect on your practice. Now, the way it works is you can self-assess or self-identify yourself as accomplished, but then once you go through the process and have to do the entries and do the tests, you really start seeing, really start analyzing your pedagogy, really start analyzing your choices. And I want to, when I facilitate groups of teachers wanting to get their national board, I really do challenge them. And I really ask them, why do you do that? Is it a can lesson? Is it mandated by the district? But is it really beneficial to your student population? One of my keynotes that I'm working on right now is the uniqueness of each learner. Regardless of if on the surface it may look like they're all one race, one background, one socioeconomic status, each child is unique. And so we as educators have to come up with worthwhile lessons that would touch on each uniqueness of each child, knowledge of each learner, and champion their uniqueness in order so they can be the best version of themselves. And that's kind of what I do, and that's kind of what I do to motivate these educators. And it really, at the end of the process, once they've completed it, regardless if they pass or not, I think they're better teachers for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, with that reflection, then you have no choice but to get better when you start reflecting upon your practice.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right. So tell me what makes the difference between a good coach and a good mentor to you?
Getting back to, again, I've been kind of obsessed with uniqueness, is seeing the situation, understanding that each situation is different. One of the things that, I work for a district. I'm an honest person. I work for LAUSD, and one of their shortcomings is their policies or their support usually is cookie cutter. And even though we're all in Los Angeles, each school has its own unique set of circumstances. Each classroom in that school has their own unique culture. So I think a good coach understands the uniqueness of its situation and just guides them into, because these are, when you get to be a teacher, you've got run the gauntlet. You've been a problem solver. You have a degree. You have a credential. So in a way, it's like getting that answer out of them, because we know what the answer is, because no one knows our students better than us. So it's, what do you think? Well, what's worked in the past? Do you see success in other situations? Things of that nature. Like, as long as you appreciate and understand the uniqueness and guide them and actually use the expertise of the person you're coaching, it's a facilitator role more so than a mentor role. I mean, at this point, most educators are experts in their field, and it's almost demeaning to them when you come up to them and try to tell them what to do, rather than, hey, how can I make you better? Because everyone wants to get better, because everyone wants an easier day, and everyone wants their students to achieve better. So the best coaches are the ones that try to make the people that they're supporting better.
I love that. So definitely taking like an additive stance, like what are you already doing well and what can we make better? So I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. All right, cool, cool. So what do you have in store for you for 2018?
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it anyway. My buddy Ken Shelton and I are starting a podcast. So it's called Two Educators, a Thought and a Mic. So it'll be just on all things education. We're gonna have guests, and we're gonna end it with a little Andy Rooney editorial by either Ken or I. And yeah, right now the goal is about once a month, and so we have that going. Um, I also am booked to do my first closing keynote at an Orange County Summit for the Ed Tech team, so that's already in the works. And other than that, continue being awesome, continue being an educator, and continue championing equity and access for all learners.
Well, that is dope. That is dope. Thank you so much for joining us today, Fernando.
Oh,
I'm
Sarah,
so
thank you
excited
so
about
much.
yeah, no, thank you. I'm so excited about everything that you're doing. So, if you could just please let our viewers know how they can get in touch with you online if they want to connect with you.
If you want to connect with me, you can contact me via Twitter at iHeartFernie. iHeart, obviously spelled the way you spell it with a Heart. And then Fernie is Fernie. And yeah, you can contact me there, or you can email me fchavez1980 at gmail.com. Or you could contact Sarah. Sarah knows
Yes.
exactly how to get a hold of me.
Absolutely. Yes. I will point you all right in Fernando's
Right.
direction.
Well, muchas
Yes.
gracias, Sarah. And I got a couple questions for you because I like to go
Oh,
off script.
yes. Please, please do.
So, what are your plans for 2018? I know you do a lot in the tech field. So, where are we going? What are we doing? What are the moves?
Oh goodness, goodness. So we have like a project we're working on. We're calling it codename EduMatch 2.0. So lots of really cool stuff coming along. The formation of our nonprofit that is almost in existence. So look for some really cool things to come out of that. But I know I've been kind of hush hush about it until 2018, but now it's 2018, so I can spill the beans. So, looking towards like doing some more regional chapters as well as supporting grassroots educator and student movements. So that is what I'm excited about in 2018, among other things. Just buzzing.
Well, you know what? You're doing big things. And I always tell my students you are the company you keep. So I need to lead by example. And I'm glad that you are a company that I'm currently keeping. And if you
Oh,
ever need any
likewise.
support with your nonprofit, some LA Connects, or even what I can do for you in LA, you just let me know, okay?
Well, thank you so much. That is definitely I'm gonna take you up on that. So I
Oh,
appreciate
anytime.
that.
Anytime.
Thank you so much, Fernando. And same here, same here. Anything that we can do here at EduMatch, you just let us know.
All
So
right.
yeah, so just wanted to thank you again for taking the time to chat with us today and letting us know about you. And also wanted to thank everybody who was watching and everyone who will be watching as we release it as an edited video podcast as well as an audio podcast within the next couple weeks. So let's see. This Sunday we do not have Tweet and Talk, and just looking at the calendar right now, it looks like the next episode that we're going to have is on the 14th. So it's going to be a Tweet and Talk that will be about gamification, if I'm not mistaken. So
Ooh,
2 Sundays from now, yeah. So it'd be great,
nice.
if you want to be
I'll
on
be
panel, Fernando, then
I'll
please,
be there for sure.
yes, that
Yeah,
would
you
be
just
that
let
would
me
be
know,
super
you know.
cool. Yeah,
Very
3
cool,
p.m.
Sarah.
your time, so
Okay,
Sunday the
perfect.
14th. Yep. And anyone else too who wants to join us, you can sign up at podcast with an s.edumatch.org/sign up and watch it at the same bat channel, podcast.edumatch.org/tweet talk. So that about wraps it up for us. So I just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in and have an awesome, awesome week. So see y'all later.